to Penske pit. Larry?
Well, Bob, first of all, about Danny Sullivan, you wondered why he might have been slowing. The pits here say there's no perceptible slowing on their watches, but if there is a mid-race period where you're going to sit back and take a deep breath and get ready to the run for the Roses, we are in Portland after all, that's what's going on right now with Danny. Now, earlier you and Johnny were also talking about Mario Andretti being out of sync because of their new fueling system. Well, please note that Rick Mears is also out of sync on his fuel pit stops. Right now, his fuel tank is showing only about 24 gallons left, while everyone else up and down pit road has more than 40. But you might say, well, he's burning up more fuel. He's really in deep trouble. He's not going to finish this race. No, that's not true. Remember, during the last yellow flag, Rick Mears came in and pitted twice. At that time, I asked Roger Penske, what's going on? He said, hey, if this race goes the rest of the way green, I'm in really good position, and I can't believe that no one else running up front has also taken the time to pit now. So what I'm suggesting, Johnny, is that if this race does go the rest of the way green, and Rick Mears and Roger Penske are getting normal, predictable fuel mileage, he might be in the best position to win this race.
Well, that's the gamble you take, and that's the way you play the game, is you try to make all of the right moves, and if that in fact turns out to be, then they will be the winners, and that's what counts. You've got to be the first guy to get the checkered flag, and that's the name of the game.
Right now, though, Rick is in 8th position and about 36 seconds behind the leader, so at the moment he is not in a challenging position. There are the first three: Leyendijk, Alonso Jr., and Danny Sullivan, as they once again come through the chicane. 66 laps completed, 3 more until a possible pit stop by the leader, Arie Leyendijk. Leyendijk, of course, has never won an IndyCar race. He finished 9th earlier this year at Phoenix. He was 10th at Long Beach, 10th at Indianapolis, and 15th in Milwaukee, so it's been a very steady year so far for Arie Leyendijk.
Leyendijk is just working superbly. His car, he's able to slip and slide. It doesn't look like it's beating him to death. The car is just really operating nicely. That's the way you dream about it.
Leyendijk, of course, his car is powered by a Cosworth engine, and with all the wins that the Chevy Indy engine has had this year, I asked him earlier in the weekend if he would really rather have a Chevy engine.
I think at this stage, I have to say yes. I think that the Chevy engine has arrived. It's something I said all along this year before Indy. I knew they were going to finish. And they seem to be fast, they seem to be reliable. And I would like to have a Chevy, but now we have to work with what we have, and what we have is really good. Cosworth is doing a good job for me, and we are putting some different things on our engine to try and keep up with the Chevys, and hopefully we'll have that improvement.
So Arie Leyendijk, I don't think, would trade that Cosworth that's in that car this afternoon for any Chevy or any other car, because it is showing the pace so far. Gary Lee in the pit area.
Bob Jenkins, there's one race driver that is serving as an analyst for us today up there in the booth who has so often said, I would rather be lucky than good. Now, right now, Arie has everything going his way. The question is, does he have Lady Luck in the cockpit with him? Remember, he was fast. He led at Phoenix and then had a pit stop and a fire in the pits that cost him a chance of victory there. What he needs is Lady Luck. They hope now the second pit stop can be maybe 2 or 3 seconds faster than the first one. The crew is standing by. They are ready for pit stop number 2 for Arie Leyendijk.
Well, that's why I said a little bit earlier that the second stop for Arie Leyendijk is going to be very important. Not to take anything away from the Dick Simon crew and those that will be changing the tires and fueling the car on Arie Leyendijk, but perhaps they're not quite as proficient and quite as fast as the Rick Dallas team or the Roger Penske team. And so when we see Arie Leyendijk come in here and maybe another lap or so, it could be very important.
Very much so, because if he gets in and out clean, and even 15 or 16 seconds, his car appears to be handling and running well enough that when he gets the tires back up to temperature, gets accustomed to the full load of fuel again, all he has to do is wait for the other teams. He's in. He's made his break into the pit, so Arie Leyendijk is coming in and relinquished the lead to Alonso Jr.
Just as predicted on lap number 69, here's Gary.
And here is Ari right on the button. Remember, this year, CART allows 6 crew members over the wall, so each tire will have 1 man to change the tire. We also have the vent man and also the refueler. They're trying for a stop maybe 2 seconds faster than before. The car was handling beautifully through the first series of pit stops. Now the second series, 16.1 seconds, just a tad quicker than the first stop.
That's just what they wanted.
Yep. Very, very good stop for Ari Luyendyk. Almost clockwork-like. Now the lead goes to Al Unser Jr. And Danny Sullivan is right on his heels as these two will have to be coming in for a pit stop before long. Sullivan has been pursuing and stalking Al Unser Jr. for the last few laps. These cars appear to be very equally matched. Sullivan has been unable, however, to make a pass on Al Unser Jr. We'll see if either one of them comes in for a stop this time. Looks like Al Jr. is. Yes, indeed. Al Unser Jr., the leader, is coming in for his second routine pit stop of the afternoon. Here's Gary once again.
Crew Chief Owen Snyder and the crew of the Valvoline March is standing by. Chevy power for Al Unser Jr. Once again, a 4-tire change. That is customary for the road courses. They'll top off the fuel, and then we'll have to check and see if there's any fuel left in this side tank. It's a very quick one, a good stop. Oh, does he stall the engine? No, he revs it up. He's still waiting. What's the problem? They're trying to put as much fuel in as possible. Now it's becoming a very slow stop for Al Jr. They're trying to jostle in some fuel from this fuel line, from this gravity-powered tank. 30 seconds and still counting. Now he's away. Oh, a very costly stop. 32.8 seconds for Al Jr.
Oh, that was costly. That really will hurt in the long run because Luyendyk went back into second place. And Sullivan now will have to make his stop, which puts Luyendyk right in the right place.
And Danny Sullivan now will be coming in for a pit stop. Here he comes right now. Larry Nuber is in the Roger Penske pit.
Well, Bob, here's the third king of Orient R of the Portland IndyCar race today. Danny Sullivan makes his second and final pit stop right on the mark. They go to work on all 4 corners of the machine and not even checking for any problems. You remember the first time they came in, there was a tad bit of concern about whether or not there was any structural damage because of the spin. Danny is back down. The spurt of water, 14.2 seconds, and Danny Sullivan is away. The big question now is, what about his exit speed and entrance speed? How close is he on the track now with the Ari Luyendyk machine? One of those 2 cars appears to be out on top when this series of pit stops will be over.
So Danny Sullivan was just a little bit quicker pit stop than Ari Luyendyk, but still, these guys are going to be battling it out for the finish of the race at the moment. Having not made a pit stop, the leader is Emerson Fittipaldi. We'll be right back. Bob Jenkins along with Johnny Rutherford, Larry Nuber, and Gary Lee as we bring you live coverage of the Budweiser G.I. Joe's 200. At the moment, the red and white car driven by Emerson Fittipaldi is in the lead. However, he has not made his second scheduled pit stop. So Emerson Fittipaldi will be coming in here in just a few laps to get some more fuel as we have completed now 73 of the 104 laps that will make up this race. Al Unser Jr. is involved in some heavy traffic out there. That is Rick Mears right ahead of him. A very, very slow pit stop because the fuel would not go in this car of Al Unser Jr. He pulls to the inside, however, of Rick Mears as they go into the chicane, and he passes Rick Mears, so Al Unser Jr. now moves back into 5th spot. A very slow pit stop, though, has dropped him from the second place that he was running before he came in.
Now, that would be interesting to see just exactly what the problem was there and why he was in for so long.
The word was there was some kind of a problem with the refueling mechanism.
Refueling rig, but here's Emerson.
Yep, Emerson Fittipaldi, who was the leader, now is in, and Gary Lee is there to report it.
The Pat Patrick March is in, and the crew goes to work. The final pit stop for the 2-time world driving champion, Emerson Fittipaldi, in the colors of Marlboro. A 4-tire change. They'll top off. Jim McGee says the fuel economy is excellent in the Chevrolet power plant. They're very happy. He had about a 15-second lead going in. He's away.
So Emerson Fittipaldi begins to build up speed once again, pulling back onto the racetrack after a 19-second pit stop in the Marlboro March. And we have a